Peace. Hare Krishna. Another episode. So what happened the other day, I was talking with my son and I was telling him that an eclipse is coming. So we just had a lunar eclipse, I think September 16th. From what I understand, it was visible from 12:45 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. But this was like the southern state. I don't even know if it was visible in New York because I don't look at eclipses. So my son was asking me about the eclipse and he was saying, like, you know, do eclipses make you blind? And I said, what affects you, what makes you blind from the sun is not even the visible spectrum of light, but it's actually ultraviolet rays. And the ultraviolet rays are still shining even during an eclipse. So it's not good to look at the sun during the eclipse. Fact. As far as the moon, I told him the moon does not radiate its own light, therefore doesn't really matter. But overall, it's inauspicious to look at an eclipse, any eclipse, whether it's a lunar eclipse or solar eclipse. It's not good to look directly at it. Why? Well, I explained to him that going back many millions of years, trillions of years maybe, there was a sage called Durvasa. And Sage Durvasa made a gift to Shango or Indra, the king of heaven. The gift was, excuse me, y'all. Lord Jagannath got to be shown, you know. So the gift that Sage Durvasa gave to Lord Indra was that of a eternally fragrant and potent garland of lotus flowers. So he gave this gift to him. You know, when you get a garland from even when you get a garland as a gift from an exalted or an advanced devotee or even a senior devotee, what happens is that it's usually infused with a certain shakti, a certain powerful energy, only because that garland has first been offered to Radha Krishna, Radha Govinda, or Krishna Balaram, or one of his expansions, right? So when it receives that transcendental energy, it has transcendental benefit for anybody who wears it. So these garlands, take it as a divine gift when someone gives you a garland. It's not a game, you know. As a matter of fact, how divine women chose their mates in the old days was by putting a certain type of garland around their neck. Okay, good. So Sage Durvasa gave this gift to Lord Indra. But Lord Indra, as usual, with all respects though, was busy sporting and cavorting with his lady friends. He was highly intoxicated. He had no cares in the world. We're talking about the king of the heavenly planetary systems, you know what I'm saying? So he's definitely a materially happy guy. So he was busy enjoying. And because of his enjoyment, he neglected the gift that the sage gave to him. So when the sage gave him this garland of lotus flowers, he pretty much tossed it towards his elephant. And it fell at his elephant's feet. I think the name of the elephant is Aryavata. I don't know, Aryavata or something like that, right? But it's a very important elephant. Anyway, this white elephant, took the garland, man, with his trunk, picked it up, threw it on the ground and smashed it with his feet. Now let me tell you something about the sages, right? The sages are very interesting characters. They're very advanced. They could cross the ocean, this material ocean, and arrive at the shores of the bank of the Milk Ocean, and they could knock on God's door and talk to him at will, and man, they could do a lot of things, right? One thing I notice about these sages, whether very learned or very magical or very powerful, whatever they are, they all tend to have short tempers and low tolerance for the imperfections of other living entities. Not judging, it's just an observation. Short-tempered beings. You know, just like they say, now Shiva is not in the category of a sage, but they say Shiva is easily pleased and easily displeased. Well, these sages, a lot of times, they seem hard to please. You got to do a lot of penance and austerity to get their attention, you know? So anyway, Durvasa became extremely angry at Indra. I mean, it was an insult, man. You give somebody a highly valuable lotus garland, and the best he could do is let his elephant trample it under his feet, there should be some repercussions. So what happened next? Well, Sage Durvasa cursed Indra. He cursed Shango. And he said, for your ignorance, Lakshmi will leave you. And now, this cosmic force of Shri, this Lakshmi, like I said, she bounces back and forth between the kingdoms of the demons and the kingdoms of the demigods. And all living beings benefit when Lakshmi is in their universe in some way or another. You will benefit. But she left. And you know, when your mother dies or the grandmother dies, how everything in the house just dries up. You might even wind up selling that house. Yeah. Or when a wife or a girlfriend leaves, how life just loses its flavor. Well, this is pretty much what happened to the universe. When Lakshmi left Indra, when that good luck left, even the demons were suffering. Let me tell you something. The plants stopped giving fruits, and trees stopped giving fruits. Everything stopped reproducing. Like birth rates dropped, impotence rose, sickness, bad luck, ill fortune, all of these negative things of life became more prevalent. And the sweet things of life apparently disappeared, man. Yo, that's a serious thing. So remember, always keep a Shakti in your life. Always keep a Lakshmi. The woman is the best force, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they give the best service to the Supreme Lord. Their whole orientation is service. And I don't mean service like a slave. I mean, a woman's nature is to make sure that everything is gonna be all right. The man is the protector, the provider, yes, but the woman is the nurturer. You know what I'm saying? Anything you think of a woman, the first thing it should be is sweetness. So check it out, right? Lakshmi bounced. The universe itself began to retrograde and crumble. It was just a terrible, terrible situation for the living entities. So boom, the demigods and the demons together went to Lord Vishnu. No, actually the demigods approached Lord Vishnu first, and he gave them solution. He said, well, y'all gotta churn the milky ocean and bring up the nectar of Amrit. The Amrit is against or without, and Mrityu, death or ending. So Amrit, the nectar of Amrit, is actually the potion of immortality, which I mentioned in another video. This nectar of immortality is naturally produced at some region in the brain, and it drips down in a straight line towards the solar plexus, where it instantly evaporates, which is why people's lifespan is evaporating, because they no longer know the science of yoga by which you can trap the nectar of immortality in the neck region. But I gotta hurry up because I just realized I didn't put this phone on airplane mode. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can. Okay, forget all of that. Let's see if we can get this through. Oh yeah, I think I could do it. Alright, there you. So check it, right? Come on, let's go. They went to Vishnu. Vishnu gave them solution. He was like, listen, you got to churn the milk ocean, but you got to make a truce with your enemies, the demons, because you're going to need help. Because to do this, you're going to have to do some work on a cosmic scale of epic proportions. And the epic proportions are, one side will provide the force, and one side will provide the counter force. And together you shall turn Mount Meru, which is the spindle, which is the axis of the universe, Mount Meru. So it is the spindle of time. No. It is the spindle of space. It is the axis of space. And they had to grab a serpent. In some traditions, I believe the name of the serpent is Vasuki. But actually, this serpent is Adi Ananta Sesha, the coiled serpent that wraps around the cosmic egg on which Vishnu lays on the body of this coiled serpent. So Adi Ananta Sesha would be the wheel of time, because serpents represent time. The demons wanted to take the head of the serpent and wrap it around the mountain and spin this mountain. And the demigods, well, first the demigods used some reverse psychology, because what they did was say, all right, we'll take the head of the serpent and y'all demons take the tail. But of course, a person with a demonic nature, they must be up front. They must be leadership. They can't be in a humble position. So therefore, the demons protested and said, why do you demigods got to get the head? And why do we have to take the tail? So the demigods, being smart, they just looked at each other and said, all right, take the head. So anyway, after they started churning the milk ocean with this giant mountain that cuts through the middle of the universe, they churned the ocean down at the bottom of the universe. Eventually the snake threw up and the demons caught all of that poison and they got messed up. But I mean, they survived. But the point being is that if you must put yourself in a higher position than the other living entity, then you got to take what comes with it. If you must, it's better to just take a humble position and be elevated through Krishna's auspices and not your own. So check it out, right? They did what they had to do. Eventually, this beast of time, this snake, was successful in assisting the demigods and the demons in their mission. Many things came out of the cosmic ocean, including Lakshmi herself. She had returned. But to go beyond that, what happened with the nectar of immortality? Well, this nectar of immortality, when it came up, Lord Vishnu started distributing it, and he was giving it to the demigods first because he's favorably disposed toward his devotees. But what happened next was the demons didn't like that, and they wanted their fair share. So what Vishnu did was turn into Mohini. If I'm not mistaken, Mohan means illusion. So he gave them the illusion that he was a very beautiful damsel. And these demons were lusting after her. They wanted to marry her, everything. They just totally forgot why they was there. That's how beautiful she was. Meanwhile, behind her back, she's distributing it to the demigods, the nectar of immortality. So the demons, one of the demons got smart and seen what was happening, and he was like, not fair. And he woke up all of the demons out of their spell, their hypnotism, and he somehow obtained the nectar of immortality. I think he grabbed it or something. And when he grabbed it, he put it to his mouth. His name is Rahu. He put it to his mouth and drank the nectar of immortality. And at that same moment, Lord Vishnu caught him with the Sudarshan chakra and removed his head from his body. So this demon now has the nectar of immortality in his mouth all the way to his throat, but it did not reach his body. So the head remained immortal and the body withered. And this head, because of enviousness, is still out there traveling in space. Just an immortal head, man. His name is Rahu, also known in astrology, I believe, as the South Node, either the South or North Node. I don't know much about astrology. But this demon, apparently, every once in a while, because of envy, he goes and tries to swallow the moon. And that is why they say the eclipse occurs. So this is a reason why we should not directly look at the eclipse, whether solar or lunar, is because it's a negative incident. And also, if you go back to the time of ancient Kemet and how they explain the cosmogony of the universe, apparently someone was unfaithful to her husband and was cursed by her husband. We're talking about cosmic beings. I don't want to get the names wrong. You know what I mean? I believe it was Osset, but I don't want to get the names wrong. And she was married to, I believe, Ra, and he became jealous because she had a lover on the side. And at that time, the sun and the moon gave equal light. But apparently the moon was on the losing end of the deal. And in order for her to have children, the moon had to give up a certain percentage of its light. So in order for her to relieve the curse that she got from her husband to never bear any children on any of the 360 days of the year, 5 days were added to the Egyptian calendar, and the moon had to give up, I believe, 1/5 of its light. So, you know, it just harkens that both civilizations see the origin of this eclipse or this waning of light. The origin is not necessarily auspicious. So that's why the eclipse is no good to look at directly. Also, I know I should save this for another video, this thought that I was having about forming biodomes, you know what I mean? Maybe I'll go into it in more detail in another video, but I'm pretty much ready to start biodomes. I went somewhere recently and I was in a glass dome and there was a swimming pool and there was so many tropical trees in there, palm trees and stuff like that. And I said, wow, if we can make such a big dome for our sensory enjoyment, for a swimming pool where people drink and eat, dance and party and swim, jacuzzis, it was real nice. Some of y'all know where it's at, you know what I'm saying? So I got a chance to visit there. And man, I looked at this dome and see that they could fit trees inside of this dome. And I said, why aren't we doing this as devotees of the Supreme Lord? Why aren't we building eco farms and well, some of us have eco villages. I believe we have one down in Florida and in other countries, but I mean like where we at as a people, conscious community, as the yoga people, all of these people got so much knowledge. Hare Krishna, why we can't just put our money together and start building in an urban setting so we could feed millions of people? We could get biodomes out here, y'all. It's not a game. I don't even care if you steal my idea. I just know that people are going to eat, because I don't have the millions that would probably be required to build these enclosed environments. However, if I had the means to do it, absolutely, I will build biodomes, particularly if not in urban areas, very close to the urban areas, so we could feed more people food that's been produced with the transcendental energy in mind. See, I'm not just a farmer. There's much more that I have to do on this planet than just grow tomatoes and corn and protect cows. Like, protecting cows is a part of the spiritual mission, because the whole planet can benefit from cow protection. And we can eliminate so much poverty if we protect cows. It's all connected. But anyway, one biodome that I would like in particular would be filled with nothing but lotus flowers. And inside that biodome, we would also have beehives. So these bees would live, grow, and die in an enclosed environment where all their lives they've only harvested nectar from the lotus flower. I would like for you to research Rasayana and find out why honey produced from the nectar of the lotus flower is so important. And this will also cause you to become more selective in your choices in life, whether it's what you eat, whether it's how much you sleep, whether it's who you sleep with, or how you defend yourself. This will cause you to be more selective in the process when you see the difference in the value of the nectar that comes and the honey that comes from the lotus flower, as opposed to a promiscuous bee who just collects his nectar from any source. Okay? We're talking about being specified, because all of us have a specific relationship with Sri Krishna that's eternal. But right now, presently, in our conditioned existence, we're unspecified. We're everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, find your purpose. Hare Krishna.